The origin of the universe and the God story. So a culture with Slavic language and beliefs is the culture of the Slavs. They are an ancient ethnic group living mainly in Europe with a population of about one-third of this continent. By the 6th century, they migrated to scattered places such as Eastern Europe, Central Europe, Balkans, Siberia, Russian Federation, Central Asia, and some other places in the world, but concentrated mainly in the southern part of the world. Eastern Europe. How did the world form in Slavic mythology? The early world of the Slavs is like most other famous legends. In early Slavic mythology, the world was just a dark night, a chaos of nothing. Rod, the first god, also the creator of the world, is now lying in a giant egg. No one knows who or what created the god Rod. It is said that he himself created him. When the egg cracked, the god Rod came out and began to create the world. He separated the sky and the sea. Put the continents in the middle and create other gods. How to create is not mentioned in detail. He used his own body to create natural phenomena. The sun was created from his cheeks, the moon from his chest, the stars from his eyes, the sunrise and sunset from his forehead, the night from his thoughts. Wind, rain, and snow were created from breath, cities were created from Rod's tears, and thunder was created from his voice. Humans and other living creatures are created from pieces of eggshells. After creation, it is said that Rod went out into space or that he himself became the universe. A basic world has begun to take shape like that. Perun, the leading god in Slavic mythology. If the god Rod is the master of all things, then the god Perun is worshipped by the people as the supreme and most powerful god. Equal to gods and goddesses. Perun is a god who uses thunder, has many characteristics that remind people of Thor in Norse mythology. Perun is a muscular, sinewy god, always proud of his long beard. He often uses a cart pulled by a goat and uses an extremely powerful hammer, or axe, which can release lightning to destroy enemies, automatically fly away to attack the enemy and then return back to the owner. Today, Eastern Europeans often wear a bracelet shaped like Perun's hammer as a guardian. Perun is not simply the god of thunder and light, but he is also the patron of warriors and the god of war. Ruler, man between the law, symbol of male power and domination. Natural phenomena such as earthquakes, storms, are believed to be the consequences of the god Perun's hot temper. Of course, to become the head of the gods and humans, Perun had to experience through countless tough challenges, fighting and defeating many ferocious monsters to show his strength before other gods. Velez, lord of the jungle like Perun, Velez is a true warrior and willing ready to fight to protect your territory. He is the god of forests, water sources and the underground world. He is also the patron god of livestock, harvests, magic and trickery. If the god Perun punishes people with death in battle, Velez punishes sinners through epidemics. Velez can transform into different animals, but one of Velez's favorite forms is the most common sight people encounter is a bear. The Slavs in the south thought that Velez preferred the wolf form. They called him by the name, Lord of the Wolf. In terms of power and strength, Velez was not inferior to Perun, even in some areas. Slavic region, he was worshipped even more than the god Perun. One mountain cannot have two tigers. In fact, these two powerful gods have become arch-rivals of each other. Lada female and beauty like every other myth in the world. In Slavic mythology there is also a Chui Bon Bio, who takes on the title of goddess of love and beauty. And of course she is beautiful. She is famous for her long golden hair like honey, and a wreath of wheat flowers on her head, country girl style. That's because Lada also represents fertility. Sometimes Lada often appears wearing a dress with a sun embroidered on the chest. Therefore, people consider Lada to be the goddess of summer because the light and warmth of the sun also symbolize intense vitality, love and fertility. Wherever she goes, people feel the warmth and comfort as if they were in their own home. Fun fact: in Russia there is a line of cars named after this goddess. If you sit in a Lada car, you will feel at home, or you will feel like you are riding love. Dazbog taste. It is said that during the day Dazbog will ride a horse white carries the sun to illuminate the world. Then at the end of the day he will return to the other world and the next morning will revive and bring light again. That cycle repeats every day. Because he is the sun god, Dazbog also represents the power of fire. He is the patron of family fires and the rain. Therefore, it is not surprising that Slavs always love this god the most, even claiming to be descendants of Dazbog because the fire that warms them and the rain that helps them harvest are two important things. In the daily life of Slavs, particularly in Serbia, people describe Dazbog as a crippled old shepherd, wearing a bear skin on his shoulders and always having a wolf by his side. The Serbs consider themselves created from wolves, the Hungarians from cows, the Germans from eagles and the Tartans from hounds. Chernobog and Belobog, these are two gods who are often mentioned together. In Slavic mythology, the evil god Chernobog is revered by the people with great fear. Chernobog is considered a god representing evil and death. He often wears black clothes and appears in the dark. He is an extremely cruel god, taking the pain of others as entertainment, often bringing natural disasters, bad luck and misfortune to the places where he is. Evil is also present in the god's name. Chernobog means black god, the black god. The opposite of Chernobog, the black god, is Belobog, the white god, dressed all in white, only appearing at night. He is the rival of the evil god Chernobog, who brings light and happiness to every place he goes. It can be said that Belobog and Chernobog are opponents but also inseparable companions like day and night, light and darkness, good and evil. Divana, goddess of the hunt, similar to in Greek mythology. Divana, goddess of hunting, virgin of the mountains and forests, protector of girls. Her favorite transformation is a beautiful white horse. Another story tells that the forest god Velez fell in love and proposed to Divana, but with her wild and free nature, she immediately refused. In the end, Velez turned into a basil flower to appease Divana's hot-tempered personality and softened her heart, agreeing to be his wife. Dead Moroz Santa Claus is the Santa Claus in Slavic culture. Patron god of winter, often brings gifts to children on New Year's Eve. He often wears a silver-blue robe, a fur hat, holds a wand and rides a troika, three-horse-drawn sleigh, with his assistant, his niece Snegorachka. Mokosh auxiliary patron goddess. She is the goddess who protects women, women's rights, and mothers. The patron god of spinning, weaving and shearing sheep, jobs that women often do in daily life. She often holds in her hands a weaving shuttle and rolls of thread, which are said to be the threads of destiny. More precisely, it is said that they are the life threads of men, and Mokash will be the one to make his life and death decisions. Marana, goddess of winter and death, Marana has never been known by humans. Slavs love her because what she brings is only hunger, cold and death. She has black hair and extremely scary eyes. Accompanying Marana are only witches and demonic creatures. Vesna, goddess of spring. In contrast to Marana, Vesna is the goddess of spring, always bringing warmth and fertility, beautiful and fragrant. The fragrant scent of flowers surrounds. Vesna is welcomed by everyone wherever she goes. She acts as the goddess of youth and is sometimes equated with the goddess of love and beauty Lada. Svetovid, god of war. He is the god of war and conception, symbolize strength and vitality. He is often depicted as 8 meters tall, with 4 heads looking out in 4 directions. Each face has a different skin color, always holding a sword in one hand, and in the other hand holding a horn used to hold wine. Thanks to his 4 heads, it is said that Svetovid can see through everything in the world and there is nothing that he cannot understand. He also owns a white horse with the ability to divination and predict the future. Strybog, god of wind. Strybog is the god of wind and air. He lives on an island in the middle of the ocean, the center of the earth. Although there are not many stories about Strybog, this god's contribution to the world is worth mentioning. He is the one who created the 8 main wind directions of the earth, very familiar in our daily lives: northeast wind, southwest wind. Closing parenthesis. Strybog has always been worshipped by seafarers because he often puts the breeze, his children, into the sails, making ships travel faster. Merchants also often offered him gifts to hope for favorable weather and wind every time they went to sea to trade. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.